sort of feels like history's repeated itself, doesn't it, this summer, with the amount of change that's expected at West Ham. Although in the market, as I record this, we haven't actually signed anybody, apart from Sean Moore, of course, from Northern Ireland. But in terms of like first team players to come in and make a big impact, we haven't actually signed anybody yet. I'm not personally not worried. I mean, I know certain fans are getting very concerned. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Funny enough, talking to Dharmesh from Sky later today, and even the last video that they did, that was David X with him last week, he was kind of the impression that there's not a lot of clubs doing a lot really at the moment. This is quite early stages of it. So I'm honestly not worried. I just think we need to get this Declan Rice thing sorted. I wish we were a little bit more organised. I certainly do feel that. But there is a significant amount of change at West Ham this summer. Before I go into this, though, in terms of the staff and backroom and coaches and all that sort of stuff, just want to remind everybody that we are giving away a West Ham top, home, away, third kit, whatever you want, any size, male, female, whatever you want to do. You want the sponsor, you don't want it, let us know. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a winner. So what you need to do is be a subscriber. So subscribe to the channel. And then all you need to do is go and find the videos, cut the videos back for this month, back giving the kit away. Just make a comment. We'll pick out your name. And then if you win, then yeah, we'll just let us know what you want and we'll get it sent to you. As I say, also, if you want to wait till the away kit comes out or even the third kit to see what they look like, let us know and we can hold it for you. It's not a problem and we'll get it sent to you. Anyway, after that, let's talk about the staff then. I mean, if there's anything to be really concerned about, let's be honest, it's not the transfer activity at the moment for me. It's the staff situation. It's the coaches. Sorry about this. I'm really struggling with this cold. I can't shake it off. Honestly, I've had this now for nearly 2 weeks. It's driving me mad. In fact, I might have to go to the doctors. I know. Thanks for the sympathy. But yeah, I'm actually worried about the coaching staff. I really am. I'm starting to be a little bit concerned because, let's be honest, it's not right to have this volume of people walking out of the business, out of the football club. It's just not good. It's not a good look at all. I mean, right, so this summer we've lost Paul Nevin. We've also lost Mark Warburton. Now, the Nevin one's interesting more than Mark Warburton. Mark Warburton, when it first happened, actually, I was quite pleased. I don't think he really worked. But there's obviously comments come out from him, which we'll talk about in a sec. But the Paul Nevin one was really bad because, a really strange one. It makes you feel like there might have been a fallout. Something's happened. Because that wasn't at the end of the season. That was the beginning of the pre-season. So that indicates that he actually wasn't intending to go when the season finished. He was intending to stay. Now, look, it could be that a job offer came in. He's just weighed it up and thought, yeah, I fancy the move. I mean, that can happen, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look for David Moyes whatsoever. And Mark Warburton, he went on to Hammer's Chat. You can go and watch Hammer's Chat. Brilliant channel. Go and check it out. They did an interview. Gio did an interview with Mark Warburton, and he talked about how basically he left the football club to save his friendship with David Moyes. I mean, that's how strained their relationship became at West Ham because of their ideas and philosophies were so different. That's a friend saying that publicly. On top of that, we then lost Stuart Pearce not long ago, a year or so ago, and we lost Alan Irvine. Same thing. So that's 4 people in the space of nearly 2 years, or just over 2 years. That's really alarming. In my opinion, that's worrying amount of people to keep leaving the football club. I don't like it, and it is a concern. But the big question, the big question then, is who comes in? Now, ex-WHU employee has reported on this previously. They're obviously talking to candidates and what have you. And he said the club want to appoint a former player. That would be the ideal. But who? Who's this former player then? Kevin Keane's not taking it. I think he's taken the management role at under 18s. Fine. I think I've got to double check. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. Which I know he really likes. He was at an event, the West Ham Way event last season, and he made it very clear that it just wasn't the first team wasn't really his forte. He likes the development of players, so he's not one of those. You then got, I mean, these are the names I'm just sort of thrown together that have been mooted around. Gary O'Neill, of course, just been sacked by Bournemouth, ridiculously in my opinion, very harsh. Considering that I thought you did a really good job there. I mean, considering that they were dead and buried, gone. Everyone was saying, when you were talking about teams getting relegated, Bournemouth, Southampton, Southampton will go. And he got them out of it, really well. And to be sacked, I thought was very harsh. But look, he's available. And then, of course, there's Scotty Parker. I'm going to throw him in the conversation. Please put your comments forward. Let me know what you think about this. Scott Parker, Gary O'Neill. And, of course, there's also Steve Round. Steve Round has just left Arsenal. He was the assistant to Arteta for his whole time at Arsenal, and he's now left. That's a really interesting one. He used to be Moyes' assistant at Everton and Manchester United. It kind of makes sense that he's coming to West Ham. You'd think so. And I think it'd be a bit of a coup. I quite like that. I'd be quite pleased with that appointment. I think it would show a good message actually, but and something Roddy Moyes needs actually, a bit of an ally to help him out here, because I do feel that he's looking a bit vulnerable at the moment in his position. But who? Because let's just say it's Gary O'Neill. Well, we've just had that experience with Warburton. We just had a manager come in, and that does worry me now. I do start to worry. I was very excited when we brought Warburton in, but it's clearly a problem having two managers at a club. I just wasn't very. I don't know. Didn't work. I don't think it really works. You want someone to clearly be an assistant or be a coach or whatever under the manager. You don't want it to be a manager pretending to be a coach, because they're always going to argue. They're always going to, they're used to being in charge. They don't want to be bossed around and told what we're doing. This is how we're doing training. This is what we're doing. It probably drives them mad. So I'm not convinced. And that's the same reason for Parker. If it was one of the two, Parker or O'Neill, I prefer O'Neill personally. Well, I love Scott Parker, great player and everything. But I think Gary O'Neill would probably be the better fit, you'd imagine. But it's interesting. The Warburton experience has certainly left a scar, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think West Ham have got to get this right, because this is a big call. Really important. We talk about players. We've got to get it right. We've got to get our summer right. We've got to use the Declan Rice money. Yeah, that is absolutely true. But getting that backroom staff correct is absolutely paramount. West Ham have to get it right. There's no two ways about it. And who appoints them? Like, that's our next question, because this is going to be the next interesting thing. Whoever gets appointed, it's going to kind of indicate who made the decision. If Steve Brown comes in, that's a Moyes appointment. You'd think Moyes has pushed for that. It would make sense, wouldn't it? But if you're going to get obscure coaches coming through, someone from Spain, then you've got to go, well, that's Steaton or Stuyton. That's Stuyton's appointment. I've changed his name again. I know. Stuyton I'm going with now. I'm going with Stuyton. I've heard it enough times now. People keep using it. I want to join in the Stuyton wavelength. I want to join that part of that crew. I like it. Stuyton. That's what I'm calling them. So yeah, who appoints them? Because that's going to be very interesting. Really interesting. Final thoughts on it though. Basically, I think this is actually hugely important. Really want to know where we're going with this, because we've just had a season. I'll tell you how important it is. The appointment to bring Warburton into the football club nearly relegated West Ham. Realistically, it just didn't work. They were desperate to try and change the system. Warburton were playing more possession based. We're going to do all this, do all that. It didn't work, and we nearly got relegated on the back of it, because we never recovered from the terrible start we made in the season. We can't afford that. We've got to get these appointments right. They've got to fit the Moyes system. They've got to be completely behind him. Everyone's got to be on the same page. You can't have someone coming in, let's say like a Scott Parker, going, well, I don't want to play that. I want to play out from the back and play a whole ball. It will just cause problems. We've got to play the right way. So when I say the right way, let me get this straight. I meant the Moyes way while he's in charge. I'm not saying I agree with the method, Moyes' methods, and agree with his philosophies, but it's effective. Sorry. So yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, hugely appointment. And as I've said, I do what I find really exciting about it is it will give us all an indication of who's in charge and who's got a big say. Has Moyes still got a big say? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we, with this appointment? 100%. And as I say, I know I'm repeating myself, but we just got to learn from the mistakes of last season. We've got to get this spot on. This is as important as a Declan Rice spending money, getting our backroom staff correct. Personally, I want people that are going to be there longevity. I don't want people that are going to be there 5 minutes. I think the Warburton appointment was always going to be like that, and I think it was a problem. But, they've got to learn this football club, because let's get this straight. This appointment is absolutely crucial.